Hi, guys. Hopefully, you can see and hear me, or at least one or the other, because my internet lately has been absolutely terrible. And I don't know what to do about it because what is my camera doing? Okay. And I don't know what to do about it because it's a rental apartment. So, like, the person in charge of my internet is the person I'm renting this apartment from. And I've, like, let them know that the internet is garbage lately. But, you know, I don't think they know what to do about it because they just kind of pay for like an internet. Also, what is going on with my camera? Like, why is everything just like lagging on me today? Hi, she's alive. Yeah, I am alive. Hi, guys. Hi, Gord. Hi, Kristen. Hi, Modern Exiles. Hi, Elysium. Hi, Juju. Hi, Ian. Hi, JJ. Um, hi, Arhensword. Arhasnord? Arhasnord. Okay. Hello. Hi, Cheryl. Um, who did I miss someone? Hi, Karen. Hi, Don. Hi, Dave. Hi, Dan. Okay, well, I'm happy that at least on YouTube connection is good, but also my camera is for some reason constantly like shifting focus, which is weird. I love your UATV English gaze reports. Thank you, Cheryl. I really appreciate that. They're kind of changing a little bit this year. We're not going to be doing like a news rundown anymore. We are going to be doing like a sort of deep dive into one topic instead in every episode, similar to how I did the comments. Similar to how I did like the breakdown of the comments on like Zelenskyy Fridman interview and how I did the breakdown of the comments today. I think it actually might have just aired. Let me see if it already aired. The Gaze. Gaze. I know it's a strange name. But I think it might have. No, it hasn't aired yet. Wow, okay. Huh. Well, then it might air tomorrow. Empathize the gays, not gays. Well, I mean, I would not care if it was the gays as in like GAYS, but it is the gays, and it's just funny because I have to constantly like over pronounce it so it doesn't sound like the gays. But it is what it is. It's a funky name for a channel. So let me take this off because I don't know why I have it on to begin with, but it's not very comfortable to like kind of sit like this. Well, so hi everyone. A lot has happened in the info space since I last gone live, which was a long time ago, which is I don't know, 2 weeks ago, more. It's been a crazy time at work. I told you last time that I was live that me and Masha from Kyiv Independent are doing, oh, hi, Nick, are going to be doing a podcast together. So we've been working on that so much. And today, actually, I had a 3-hour meeting with like the visual designer and the director slash, she's like a director slash, video editor. So we were kind of like planning everything out. I was thinking that we could probably launch it end of January, or going to record it end of January and launch it probably like mid-February, the first episode or something like that, because wow, there's so much pre-production work, it's not even funny. But the podcast is basically going to be like a chit chat show where Masha and I will be talking about our lives in pop culture and mixing in information about Ukrainian politics, but not in like on the nose way and not in like an imposing way, but more so in like a very kind of like, I don't know, organic type of way where we mostly want it to be a talk show, but we want people to learn about Ukraine through just like our experiences because we live here, but we don't want to focus it as in like, we don't want to like name it, a show about Ukraine or anything like that. So yeah, so so that's kind of like where we're going with it. Although I'm kind of terrified and mortified a little bit to talk about like my personal experiences in my personal life because I normally don't like talk in depth about it, I suppose, but it's going to be a new experience. I mean, Masha is my really good friend, so I feel at ease talking to her. It's just like I'm going to pretend like a camera is not recording me, while I'm at it. But there is that. I thought you put the case for the Lex Luthor interview being a positive thing really well in your video. Ah, thank you, Nick. I really appreciate it. Well, because like I do think that. Uh oh, hi Darren. I do think that like the reason why that interview was so successful is because of the questions that Lex Fridman was asking, but not because they were good, but on the contrary, because they were like overplayed, overrun questions that Ukrainians no longer answer because we're kind of like tired of that at this point. And I think like it's why is this happening? And I think it's that's kind of the point, is that a lot of the people that listen to Lex Fridman is an audience that knows nothing about Ukraine and doesn't understand why these things would be happening to begin with, and kind of has like zero clue on the history and on the like precursors to the war and on Zelenskyy. And so they have like a negative idea of him and Ukraine because they haven't really like gotten to know him or us. And it's like at this point so far into the war that you no longer like explain these basics. But for someone like Lex Friedman's audience, they need this explanation of the basics. I think that like my camera is trying to focus itself on the mic and then on me and loses its mind. When is Lex going to finally mature and grow up? I know, get married with a couple of kids, any gender will do. I mean, to be fair, it's kind of funny because like I don't know, like Lex Friedman is just such a like I don't watch him, right? Like I don't watch his interviews. I don't watch like really anything he does. He's not like my type of a podcaster. But I was so surprised with how primitive his questions really are, um and how primitive his knowledge it really is, and his language and the way that he poses questions. I also thought it was really funny that he said he spoke Russian fluently. He does not. And I mean, like, I say this as someone who like understands all three languages that were used in the podcast, and I watched it actually in its entirety yesterday in the original, like where Zelenskyy and him switch between like Russian and Ukrainian and English. And honestly, it was a fun watch because Zelenskyy is funny. And honestly, I think it's like one of his best interviews because I consider him to be like a really good speaker, as in like, pre-written speeches, because he's an actor. He knows what he's doing. But I don't necessarily think he interviews very well. But this was really good because he was really talking about something he cares about and something that he doesn't need like a political briefing for. And he did like an exceptional job, in my opinion. But at the same time, Lex Friedman's questions, first of all, he just kept repeating the same question over and over and over again. And I think it was so funny when he was like, well, but I have a feeling that you and, Putin and Trump can sit down and make a deal. And then he was like, well, it's actually not a feeling, it's a dream. It's like, okay, man, well, I have a feeling I'm going to buy a penthouse in New York. Well, actually, it's not a feeling because I can't afford it. I just have a dream. It's like, who says that? And why would someone say that? It's like so stupid. But it is what it is. And again, like he just kept like repeating himself and repeating the same set of like quite primitive and like quite dumb questions. But again, and him not realizing uh and with him like not realizing why these questions rather like these questions being as silly and as primitive as they are, and him not realizing why they're silly and primitive and kind of like overplayed, gave Zelenskyy a platform to really like shine and connect with the people that were watching it. Because in reality, like the people that do watch Lex Friedman would be asking the same questions because their knowledge is probably as as bad on the subject as like his is. Also, connection is much better on YouTube. Yeah, it is much better on YouTube. I genuinely don't know what's wrong with my internet. Like it's been so bad and there is really nothing that I can do about it except maybe, you know what? I can try going live on TikTok from another phone, which would mean that I could maybe use my like data. but the internet in my apartment has been like genuinely atrocious. And again, I've like asked my like apartment owner what's going on because it was always really good, and then recently it's just so bad, and there is like nothing I can do about it. It like pisses me off so much. How did the interview watch go? It was good. I mean, like, again, I highly advise you to watch the 3-hour interview if you want to watch it in its entirety with someone, so you can kind of comment on like how bad, I don't know, how bad the interview is or how bad Lex's comments are, because like I really wanted to just punch a wall a couple of times, like many times. And I also wanted to be like an emu who can like hide its head in the sand quite a few times as well. But yeah, so I would really suggest you have company for this one. Hi Martin, and also Don, thank you sorry, Don, Dan, oh my god. Dan, thank you so much for gifting 10 memberships on YouTube. I really appreciate it. And also, I'm so sorry guys that I haven't been live in so long. It's really it's been like kind of difficult. I honestly, like, I always kind of take on more than I can chew, but in the past 2 weeks there have been a lot of things happening, which one is the podcast, and two is we've been kind of revamping content at work and like killing some of my segments and substituting them with new ones, which means that like there is a lot of planning. So there is like a lot of planning and stuff like that in the there is just sort of like a lot of writing and thinking and kind of like a lot of things that come with that. Sorry, I got like distracted by this comment, which is, why are the Dems so disgusted that we put well, Donald Trump, who's out on bail for $200,000, into the White House? He was found liable for SA and business fraud. Why don't people like that? I don't understand how. Like I would like to think it's a sarcastic comment, but then again, I know better because, I know better because people, I feel like it's a bait comment. So I don't necessarily want to read it the way that it's written, because I feel like this is just meant for me to say a bunch of things that you can report me for. Hi Gunnar, hi Cinnamon. Good to see y'all. Let me try and reload TikTok on my other phone, because I'm assuming that you guys are not really seeing anything on there. And also the TikTok ban. There is so much to talk about today that I don't even know where to start, to be honest. Trump and Greenland, the fact that he just got convicted today. The fact that he's going to take the White House on January 20th while he's a convicted felon, the freaking like claims over Canada, the Gulf of Mexico situation. Then we also have Zelensky's interview. Then we also have Syria that we haven't discussed. I don't think we have, because I haven't been live. There's just like, there's a lot. So let me try and reload TikTok so I can at least have a potential of, being live on there. And see if my data is going to be better. Also, Cindy is so funny. She just like found her toys. I like moved their toy box because I'm like tired of cleaning toys all around the house. So I moved it away a little bit. Oh, no. And now, she just found it because it's like now in my office. I don't have like a separate office, but it's kind of like it has a divider, so the dogs can't like come here unless I open the door, and Cindy has like snuck in. I can't believe I'm here to take me back to TikTok. Well, Kat, I'm trying, okay? See me on YouTube, do you? Oh, now you do see me on YouTube. Fantastic. I don't know what to do with this internet situation. I might just like get a different internet provider, because this is so bad. I've been streaming on YouTube for like a long time now, but sometimes it's just harder because to set up YouTube is a lot more difficult than it is to set up TikTok. TikTok is just basically like you open your phone, you put it out there, and you start like streaming. For YouTube, it's like I gotta connect my mic. There is streaming software involved. Also, There is like a lamp that I have to put here because otherwise it's too dark. And then there is also a camera I need to like connect and stuff. And like obviously I move my computer and my laptop from like location to location. So yeah, I don't know why TikTok is so bad. It's so bad, like the connection. TikTok better now. Oh wow, okay. Well, that's good. Cat, you may burst into flames. I'm just praying our allies don't completely abandon us over the next 4 years. It's going to be a long 4 years. Certainly going to be a long 4 years. I don't necessarily think that the allies are going to abandon you, but I think it's going to be really difficult. It's going to be really difficult to, I don't know, it's going to be really difficult to be America for the next 4 years. I also like I don't want to speculate, but like the way that Trump has set up the system and the way that he like sort of set up the Republican Party in power, like I fear that this is looking a lot like Russia's oligarchy, because the people that we did not elect, like Elon Musk, now have control and like government roles. And they're basically, it's a government and a country now made for billionaires by billionaires, and through billionaires. And it's like a really terrifying thought, because this is basically what Russia was doing, except like, Russia was honing down on like tech giants and all of this stuff through like forcing them into submission. And what we're seeing in the US is basically like they're doing that in advance, like Jeff Bezos in Washington Post, by not endorsing a candidate because he knew that if liberal Washington Post endorses Kamala, then when Trump is in power, Jeff Bezos is going to have to answer for that, right? Then also like the political cartoons, the cartoonist that he fired, or the cartoonist that quit, the cartoon that was killed. Also, then like there is this situation with Mark Zuckerberg removing fact checkers and introducing community notes. I mean, that's obviously like an in advance sort of like, thing for Trump. So this type of stuff really, really bothers me, and it makes me feel really uncomfortable, because like Russia had to crack down on tech giants, and in America, they're just kind of following suit. And they're just kind of following suit without really having to like crack down on them. And it's really, why would they do that? Also, if you remember last time that I was live, we were raising money for a unit that trains FPV drone pilots for various different locations for the front. And we made like a very big dent in their fundraising effort, because they're trying to raise 140,000 hryvnias for a bunch of laptops and tablets and like a bunch of electronic gear that they need. And we were able to raise about $500 last time. So this fundraiser has been going on for weeks, and when we don't fundraise, it's just like not going. And the issue with that is a friend of mine is also fundraising for them, but I don't necessarily think he knows how to fundraise, nor is he really. I have been, because obviously I haven't been live in a while, but just to put it in perspective, you guys and I raised 18,000 hryvnias in a night, which is equivalent to $500. The fundraiser has been live since, and it only raised 2,500 hryvnias more, or 3,500 hryvnias more. So I fear that if I don't start going live and fundraising, then this fundraiser is never going to reach its goal, because it doesn't seem like the second person who has agreed to help them is like really doing the best job in fundraising. And I'm not saying this to their like detriment, or to like, be mean to them by any means. It's just that I don't think that that's really like something that they do. Like they've just kind of posted it on their story once and forgot about it. So I am going to put a link to this fundraiser, which is the Mona Bank jar, in the comments right now, and then I'm going to pin it. But if you don't know if you don't want to use Monobank to donate yourself, you can always Venmo me or Revolut me or PayPal me, and I will send it over to the jar like we did last time. So let me just send this over to myself so I can like copy it on this account, and I will paste it in the thing, in the comments on YouTube. I'm also going to ask my moderators to put my PayPal and this link that I just sent to them in the chat in TikTok comments, and I will do that on YouTube in a second. Sorry, I'm just trying to be productive here. Copy link. Okay, copy link here. That's the Monobank jar. And then in a second, I'm also going to PayPal Yulia Design at gmail.com. And then I'm going to do this, which is Venmo Revolut will be just Yulia. Okay, so there is that. Do you have the CA one? What's a CA one? And also, I will show you a video. So like last time I was saying that, last time I was saying that this fundraiser is difficult because I can't really I can't give you like a lot of information about this unit or any at all really, other than that they're training different units or different separate soldiers from different units and how to use FPV drones. Cash App? No, I don't have Cash App, but I have Venmo, Revolut, and PayPal. But so this is one of their trainings. I'm going to show it on TikTok as well. So they need laptops for this type of like studying, right? Because for FPV drones, you need a screen to be able to operate them. And then this is the name of the unit is Typhoon. I just can't really tell you where they're based or where they're located because well, they just asked me not to. And this is one of those cases where, like I normally have an easier time fundraising because I have so much information, and I usually have like, a close friend in a unit, or I have share or to tell. Well, here, this is just a unit that helped me organize a trip to a very interesting place a little while ago. And I know them personally. I've met them. I've seen their studies, but because it's such a like sort of secret unit, and they're doing FPV drone studies, I can't really talk about where they are because like the location where they're at, it's like, I guess most Russians or most people don't really know that there are military bases or locations there to begin with. So we would like to keep it that way. So yes, but if you would like to donate, you can to this fundraiser. I will be sending it to the Monobank jar. I've put the Monobank jar in the comments over there, and I'm also putting my PayPal and Venmo and Revolut in the comments if you would like to use that to donate. Once I see donations, I'll obviously tell you about them on the. Like once they come in. The only thing is the internet is a little slow right now, so it might take a while until I see something. But the second I do, I will let you know. Then, hi Pietro. Oh, Cheryl, Rick the Ukrainian has wrung me dry. A ringing of love. Yeah. Oh, I'm so happy that you have donated to his cause and his fundraisers. He's really lovely, and he has been, I envy Rick's ability to go live and to fundraise because he is he's just so like dedicated, and he does it so well. And I'm not nearly as good at it because I'm just kind of ADHD and not nearly as organized. But it's so nice to see everyone. It's been like And also, Moises, thank you. Long time no see. How were your holidays? I think the Greenland thing is a ruse that Trump will try to use to pull USA out of NATO. Just my 2 cents. I actually, well, first of all, thank you for the super chat. Second of all, I do agree with you. I just, Hi Doug. I just kind of also like find this whole situation so like upsetting and outside of the obvious because like imagine like what it's like to be a Ukrainian in this situation. So you are dependent on America's help, right? And you're fighting imperialism and Russia and Russian imperialism and Russia, and they're bad because they're trying to take territories that don't belong to them. Meanwhile, you depend on the US, and the US that it was like 2 months ago is not the same US that it's going to be on January 20th. Now, the guy who's taking over the US as the president is um, going out there and saying these ridiculously imperialistic statements and like talking about all of these like like taking over territory and taking other people's like parts of their countries and making Canada a state and stuff. And like you have such a thin, fine line that you're walking because you are because you depend on the weapons from the US so much. But you also but you also are like, I are like this is precisely the type of stuff that you're fighting against. I sent you a Venmo. Okay, I'll give me 1 second and I will look at it. Thank you so much. uh, let me see, just so I can keep a tally. And last time I was Good morning, Ozzy. I was like sending each donation as it came to the. Also, thank you for a follow, as it came, because I just like kind of didn't realize a good way to do it, and so I paid commission each time and then added from my own money. So this time, I think I'm going to keep a tally and then donate it all at once at the end of the live, because that way it might be cheaper and like not I won't have to pay so many fees, but also I'm just like, I can't see, like my Venmo is not loading and neither is my PAL, but they're working. It's just that I can't see the balance reflection because my internet is so freaking slow right now. And it's driving me crazy. And part of me wants to try and reload it because like it is really bad. But in the meanwhile, the USA will never ever get Greenland from Denmark. We have been there since 1721. Yeah, but also like like I understand that it'll never happen and Trump will never try to do it, but at the same time it's just like the sole idea of him like making these statements and the sole idea of him like saying this type of stuff is like ridiculously not okay, because like it shouldn't be happening to begin with. Like a head of state can't just like go on on record on TV and go like, haha, we like we're gonna annex Greenland. Like it's not okay, it's not funny, it's not reasonable, it's not something that you just like jokey joke about. Like it shouldn't be. This is imperialistic, this is aggressive, and it creates tension between countries because these countries have to take these things seriously, because why wouldn't you? Also, Victor, thank you. There is a $20 donation, and Mashbuck, thank you. There is a $113 donation, which together makes it $133. And then let me try and load PayPal and check that as well, and then check Revolut, and then we'll continue the conversation. I'm just like having a fun time here, waiting for this. I know you're not seeing because it's reflecting, but it's just like a loading screen on PayPal. So it's going to take me around 5 minutes to figure out each donation. So I'm probably going to do a tally like every 15 minutes or so because like normally I can see it once it like as it's coming in, and right now I'm just kind of like stuck in this I'm stuck in this sort of like bad internet conundrum. But let me maybe go and try to reload my Wi-Fi, because this is kind of unbearable in a way, and this phone doesn't have phone internet because it has an American SIM in it, and obviously I'm not paying roaming prices. JJ, if you can donate to Monobank, that's likely if you're in Canada, the UK, or the US. Sometimes, if you're trying to donate to the jar, it won't take a debit card, but it will take a credit card. But you can also always donate to my PayPal, Venmo, or Revolut, and I'll send it over. Oh my God. Okay. Well, Cindy had just destroyed a toy and she's like eating the insides of it. So give me 1 second. I'm going to deal with that for a second here. And I'm also going to try to reload my Wi Fi. So in the meanwhile, I don't know, I'll be back in like a minute or two and I'll answer all the questions or comments or whatever appears on the screen. Let me just make sure that my dog does not like eat a bunch of like what are these things called that they stuff dog toys with, but they're like these fluffy white type of things. Let me go take that out of her mouth because that's not okay, and see if I can do something with my Wi-Fi. Cindy, this is not good, dude. No. Okay, I get it. Monkey's done. Like, you've killed the monkey, Cindy. Yes, I'm sorry. You've killed it. Cindy, get out. Get out. Come on. Hi, I'm back. So if I reload my Wi-Fi, it might actually not go as well as I planned. Cindy treats. Hi, Jennifer. I think I'm stuck with really bad Wi-Fi and being able to refresh my PayPal and Venmo once every, like, I don't know, 10 minutes or something. I genuinely don't understand what I can do about this. It's been like driving me crazy because it also slows down my work because I have to like download YouTube like videos and then edit them, or rather write notes about for someone who's editing them. And it takes me like freaking hours to download one video. It's insane. And I feel like it's a me problem because, you know, my internet in the United States was atrocious. And like my provider is really, well, I mean, Spectrum is pretty bad, but like it was atrocious. My internet in Ukraine was great when I got here, and now it's atrocious. And I feel like the common denominator here is really me. So we have that. We also have $56.33 on PayPal, which together with Venmo makes it, let me pull out a calculator because obviously I'm not good at calculation. 5633, not okay, 5633 plus 133 makes it 189.33. I installed Monobank app, but it's all in Ukrainian. Oh, but you can't use like, as in, like, are you in Ukraine? Because you can't have a Monobank account unless you're in Ukraine or in Ukraine. To Revolut. Hi, QR. Okay, let me check Revolut. Sorry, thank you for letting me know where you've sent your donations because it's like impossible for me to check right now because I you know, my my network is so bad. So that's $103.90 converted from euros, which puts us to $293.23. which is a very, very decent amount. Just send 10 USD to PayPal. Thank you. Let me check. I'm sure it's already there. Thank you, Dan. So let me see. Thank you, Dave, as well. So we are now at $71 dollars. So $308.23. PayPal, isn't that owned by Elon and his friends? So it was created by a Ukrainian person. So I don't think so necessarily. I know that it was created by Ukrainians. I think Elon invested into PayPal, but I don't think he owns it. I don't think he has any sort of prerogative over it, to be honest. But I do think that he invested into it a while ago. So there is that. Let me just quickly send this over to my Ukrainian account. Hi, Marino. So I can later transfer it to the jar. Elon just bought it for a while. He didn't do anything and he sold it. Okay, so Elon is no longer affiliated with PayPal. Okay, good to know. In fact, very good to know. I'm so happy to know that, because I never really know how to answer that question. I know that he doesn't own it. I thought that he had an investment in it for a short while, but I didn't know what happened to it then. Elon is no longer that one I read already. And then, oh, you're in Vinnytsia. Okay. So do you, as in, do you already have a Monobank account? Because I don't know how it works for foreigners. I don't think foreigners can have a Monobank account, as in an actual account itself. I think foreigners can have a Privatbank account. But I don't, I'm sorry. I'm trying to do 7 things at the same time, and I feel like it's not doing me any justice, and it's also it's only confusing everyone, because I'm kind of trying to speak and do things at the same time. We can send to a Monobank with Google or Apple Pay. Yeah, exactly. So you can so you can use Monobank to donate to a fundraiser. If you download a Monobank app as a foreigner in Ukraine, you will still have to create a Monobank account, and I don't think that you can have a Monobank account as a foreigner. That's, I guess, what I was trying to say. But also, so if you're trying to donate to Monobank, and you're using a debit card, if you are in certain countries, I know for sure Canada, the UK, the US sometimes has difficulties, but credit cards work just fine, which is odd. I don't know why, but sometimes the issue is with the debit card. Also, TikTok is filtering comments so weirdly. Lately, it's there is a comment here. He sold it in 2002 to eBay. Okay. Magdawan is asking, what are you raising dollars for? So there is a unit in called Typhoon, and we've fundraised for them. Okay, so we fundraised for them last time that I did a live, and I couldn't really tell you anything about this unit because they've kind of told me that I can't tell you anything about this unit. Now I can tell you the name of the unit at least, which is Typhoon. And this is a video of them training soldiers for operating FPV drones. And they basically need 140,000 hryvnias, which is a little less, I believe, than $4,000 to buy laptops and to buy tablets and stuff like that, to to buy sorry, he's speaking in Ukrainian in the video, and it's tripping me out, but basically tablets and laptops and stuff like that to be able to train their students in operating FPV drones. And they basically train soldiers, individual soldiers from different units to do that. So they're not necessarily at the front anymore, but the instructors were in frontal units. They just now kind of are instructors. And they're struggling with fundraising because, so basically, I said this in the beginning of the video, but for those of you who are joining just now, I'll explain why I feel so bad. Why I feel so bad is because like last time was like 2 weeks ago that I went live. We were fundraising for them and we raised about $500 almost. So it was 18,000, like 19 or 18,000 hryvnias. And then now the Mona jar is at, let me tell you what it's at, but it's like, it's very, it's basically me and another person who agreed to help them fundraise. And this other person in 2 weeks managed to raise 2,000 hryvnias ish, which is $50. So this fundraiser basically doesn't go anywhere unless I fundraise for it. Oh, now it's 33,401 hryvnias. So, okay, 10,000. I checked it like a couple of days ago and there was barely anything in it, but also I don't know, maybe you guys were able to donate to it just now, and so maybe this was done literally tonight. I don't know if any of you were able to donate to Monobank, but basically unless I fundraise for it, this jar like doesn't get replenished at all, because the person who is the second person who has agreed to help fundraise for them, I guess is like doesn't really know how to fundraise. They just posted a story about it like once or a couple of times, and it didn't really go places. And so I'm like really trying to do my best to help them fundraise, because I feel really bad because it's been like weeks and weeks and weeks and there is barely any progress. Also, thank you, Lauren. We now have $50 more, which brings us to $358.23 today, which is quite an amazing result if you ask me so far. Then let me also check. Let me check Revolut again. Maybe someone. So for those of you who are in European countries, I also have Revolut. I guess it's on the screen. And also there is, let me send you the Monobank jar again in case you guys want to donate straight to the jar. But if the jar is not working for you, then I have options, which is my PayPal, my Revolut, and my Venmo, and I can just forward it and then to the jar at the end of the live, or like by tomorrow morning. Did it snow in Kyiv? We got snow in Vinnytsia. Time to hibernate. Yes, it did. It's snowing in Kyiv like quite profusely right now, actually. And Dan, thank you for the membership again. And Moises, thank you so much for the $5 donation. I'm going to add it to the fundraiser as well. Though, if you do choose to donate through YouTube, I think I get the payout for that on the 20-something, but like next month. So it's so it'll take like a month to take out the funds from YouTube for this round, but it's $5, so I can compensate for that myself. When will the war end, Oleg? I don't know. You know, when Russia takes its stuff and gets out of my country, that's when the war will end. So you should probably ask, Russians that, not Ukrainians, because we're doing everything possible to end it. But it's kind of hard to do when you're being constantly shot at with FPV drones, missiles, cluster bombs, and glide bombs, and also you have like North Koreans and Russians in thousands attacking your borders. Yeah, it's a little difficult. From a debit card in the Czech Republic, Monojar didn't work either when I tried in 2023. Yeah, sometimes it has like a weird thing with debit cards. I returned to volunteer in Ukraine for the 7th time. Most Americans support you. Oh, hi, dog, and thank you so much. Kari says Monobank rejected my Finnish credit card. I don't know why. Yeah, it's weird. It has that sometimes. People are in denial, but Trump has no one to hold him back. Yeah, he really does not, and it's really, really freaking terrifying. Doug says, tell me how on PayPal. So basically, here, let me paste my PayPal here in the comments as well, so it's easier for you guys to, you basically go on PayPal and you enter my email and you send it to this. And then I guess the Venmo and Revolut one, I don't necessarily need to paste in the comments because it's an easier one to, unless you want me to, then I'll obviously do it. But it's because it's not like a long email. I think it's, I think, oh, okay, here, yeah. Or you can use the PayPal me, Yulia thing that Ozzy just posted in the comments. Hi, Helmar. It does that on Karen's live, like random comments that are not even bad. Yeah, that does that on my TikTok too. Also, I love how like ADHD this live is because like I'm reading comments later and you are reading comments later. Aren't you American? Ні, я народжена і вирощена в Україні. У мене український паспорт, і я не маю ніякого іншого громадянства, ніж українського. Я просто дуже давно жила в Америці. Or in translation from Ukrainian, that means no, I'm actually a born and raised Ukrainian. I have a Ukrainian citizenship and I do not have a citizenship of any other country. I just lived in the United States for 14 years and that's why it seems like that to you. But no, I'm a born and raised Ukrainian. My parents are Ukrainian. They've lived in Ukraine this whole time, and they live in Ukraine still. I lived in the United States for 14 years, and that's why I sound very American to you. But in fact, I'm just an SBU operative pretending to be American. I'm joking. I'm so joking because I feel like someone's gonna take a clip of this and like try to say that I like I'm gonna try to say that like I'm actually I'm actually an SBU operative. So, smooth and fascinating. Yeah. Also, I just went on Instagram, like not by accident, but I sort of like opened Instagram by accident and it opens straight to some like crazy person commenting that 80% of Ukrainians speak Russian and so do I in everyday life. So stop with that Zelenskyy propaganda, which is like so freaking funny. And he's like fighting Americans and telling and he's fighting Ukrainians and telling us to give our own money to the war, which we do all the time. But anyways, not American taxes. And he's from fucking Serbia. Like, I'm sorry. It's just like so funny to me when Russian trolls are like say it speaking as if they're American and then they forget to change their like Serbian or like, I don't know, Russian flag in their bio. And like they forget to like tailor their profile to actually, say Texas Eagle or like whatever. 87, so it's like tailored for an impression of being American. If people want to know when war will end, just ask any stupid Muscovite troll. Exactly. Do we need an account on Revolut to send there? Yes, unfortunately. I think on all of these apps you need an account to send it there. Like both. Well, Revolut is a bank, not an app. Not like just an app. I saw you on the gaze. Yeah, I'm one of the anchors on the gaze, and I have a couple of my own. I have a couple of segments on there, and I try to do my best creating content for and on the gaze. Also, thank you for another donation in the amount of $11.70. So let me add that to the total. 1 second. Your roof is slanted. Are you on the top floor and did you move? I don't know when, from when, like, when do you think I moved? Like, when was the last time you saw me? $374.93 is the total. What about the podcast that you spoke of? Grumpy, I already told everyone everything about the podcast in the beginning of the YouTube live. But the snow was actually insane. Yes, it was. My roof is slanted. I'm not on the top floor. It's just a building like that. Like the roof is slanted from like the top of the building to I think like the 10th floor or something. So there are quite a few units on different floors that have these skylight windows. Sweating to death in a high rise. Same high rise. I was just probably sitting on the couch. Yeah, on the couch, which is like behind this wall. But yeah, it's the same. It's the same high rise, same slanted roof, same apartment. Did not move. Also, I'm not planning on moving. And then I don't know what the anchor "don't tear over our cables" means. I don't know if this is supposed to be an insult of some kind. How long does snow last in Ukraine? It really depends on the temperature, I think. Sometimes it's like, it really depends on the temperature. But we really haven't had like major snow in Ukraine this year at all yet. Like there has been some snowfall. Oh, hybrid warfare in the Baltics anchor. Oh, like that type of anchor. No, but I mean like anchor, like TV anchor. Sorry, I'm sensitive to YouTube comments because sometimes like there will be comments that are meant to be like hidden insults for like no reason, and I'm just like, okay. But yeah, I really don't know. I mean, it doesn't, like, we haven't had snow this year at all, really. Hi, Diane. It's been like very snowless. It's been kind of like very warm, honestly. Sometimes temperatures right now, and it's what, January, are 10 degrees Celsius, which is like quite high. I would say it's like, I don't know, 34, like maybe like 50, like 45 Fahrenheit. I don't know like the conversions, but it's warm. It's like a weird, it's like 55. Yeah, like 55, 60, maybe. I don't know. No, 55. But yeah, I mean, I will not be cutting any cables. That's a Russia MO. Latvia, but not that. But that is NATO and EU. Fun fact, Ukraine does not allow dual citizenship yet. Yeah, I know. But I think there is a bill already in place. Also, how are you, Diane? I haven't seen you in a while. Actually, if you have an account in a bank, if you have an account in a bank registered in Eurozone, you can wire the money, internet banking or a mobile app, and the money arrives almost instantly. I have done it myself. Oh, that's cool. I really didn't know that. That's really cool. 55 should be around 13 Celsius. Yeah, so 50 degrees. Okay, so like 50 degrees Fahrenheit, which is like really warm for January. Especially I feel like in Ukraine, because people like consider it to be kind of like Siberia, but it really isn't. It really isn't Siberia. I know it's been forever. Yeah, but also like, I mean, it's my fault as well. I haven't been really going live a lot. It's been quite busy over here. But I really love going live. I just wish I had like more time to do that, because at this point, like, I used to not sleep till like 2 or 3, and I'm saying this now while it's literally like 1 a.m. But I used to not go to bed for like a long, long time, and now I do go to bed earlier. Like I go to bed at 11 or 12, and I'm usually done with work by like 10 p.m. or 10:30, and then I need to walk the dogs and feed the dogs, and I also want to take a shower and like, and like be in bed at a reasonable time, and then I wake up early, and so it's just, usually it's really, really hard to go live. And like if for me to go live, for it to be like a normal time both for the US and for this hemisphere, it needs to be somewhere in the evening, and I'm again not done with work usually until like late, so that means I would have to go live at like 11 or 12, and that means I'm like not sleeping at 1, which is now, and I can't do that too often. Summer crazy work schedule or shoveling snow plus trying to get a new job too. Oh, are you switching fields, or are you just switching companies? How are Ukrainians taking Trump presidency? Hi, Leanne. I don't know. Honestly, like, it's hard to say because if I go on Twitter, obviously people are like, because people on like Twitter usually know a lot more about politics than they do like just as random people on the street. Sorry, I thought it was an air raid and it's not. It's just someone breaking their car really loudly. Or someone like stopping really loudly in their car. But if I like go in everyday life, I think a lot of people just don't know enough. I am on YouTube right now. A lot of people don't know enough about Trump, and they're just sort of like they don't know. They've heard that he's a businessman, and they've heard that he's a strong leader because Zelensky keeps saying that because obviously he needs to like appeal to Trump, and so I guess they have some hope. And then, like, if I talk to my bubble, which is like my friends that are very familiar with the Western world and that have lived in like different countries and stuff, and they're kind of like horrified as to how this could have happened because obviously they're not just thinking about like Ukraine, they're also thinking about the United States and what a Trump presidency means for the United States. Um, I have noticed Ukrainians with dual citizenship holding US passports. Yeah, so like Ukraine has no procedure of stripping you of a Ukrainian citizenship. So we're technically not allowed to have a dual citizenship, but the issue would only arise if you're a citizen of a different country and you're trying to get a Ukrainian citizenship because you then would have to forfeit your like citizenship of a different country to get a Ukrainian one. But if you're a Ukrainian and you're getting, let's say, a US citizenship, US allows for dual citizenship. Um, and Ukraine doesn't have a procedure on stripping you off of your citizenship unless you've like committed treason or something like really, really bad. So in reality, there is no way to enforce. Um, there is like no way to enforce taking your citizenship away if you have a dual one. Let me grab a charger because my phone died. 1 second. So yeah, Ukrainians have dual citizenships quite often, but if you try to get a Ukrainian citizenship, then you would have to forfeit yours. And technically, it's illegal for a Ukrainian to have a dual citizenship, but a lot of people partake in it anyway. Because again, like there is really no way to enforce punishment for it. 1 second. But Ukraine is also creating a bill to allow for dual citizenship. So yeah. Well, I didn't get a charger. I put my phone on the charger, so I'm so sorry to everyone on TikTok. I will have to wait a couple of minutes until I can get my phone back and go live again on TikTok. It's totally my fault. My phone died. This one's charged, that one isn't, but this one was supposed to be the live phone, but obviously it doesn't the internet is really slow. Also, just a gentle reminder where we're at in the fundraiser, and we are at, let me see if anything came through on PayPal or Revolut or Venmo, and then I'll give you a tally. Also, I don't know why I said Venmo like in a very Midwestern in a Midwestern way of saying it, but I think nothing new. But we're at $374.93. Do you think we could get it to 500 today by any chance? Which would only take $125. And there we go with an air raid. Let me see what it is. Great. Shahed drones. I mean, Shahed drones are not nearly as scary as like missiles would be, so I don't think I need to go to the bomb shelter for it. I usually don't, even though it's a very irresponsible thing to do, so don't be like me. Yeah. Last February, it was freezing in Ukraine. Actually, I agree. I moved to Ukraine on January 1st or December 31st, and it was indeed incredibly freezing in Ukraine. Like last winter was freaking awful. This winter is not like that at all, and a lot of it I think is like residual from like climate change, but also in like a way that um like I don't know, I think that all of the heat, and I mean I might be very wrong because I'm no physicist, don't get me wrong, but I think like all of the missiles and all of the that are being dropped on Ukraine and all of the like cities that are being destroyed and everything that's like burning to the ground and all of that really does influence climate quite a lot. But then again, like Europe is having a very warm winter as well. But a lot is happening in this continent. How long a time before they're expected? I mean, they are already passing through Borodyanka, which is one of the villages that was occupied by the Russians. It's near Bucha and Irpin. And that's like I would say like a 30-minute ride on the car from me, but it's quite far, like walking distance. Yulia, you aren't coming back on TikTok, are you? I don't know. It depends on how much longer I'll be on live, but my phone died, so I don't so I have to like wait until that charges before I can go live again. Um Also, you guys, have you seen the whole TikTok live ban? Like, what do you think is going to happen? I've been watching so many different people, including Joey Contino, talk about it, and everyone seems to have a very uh um wait. Oh yeah, very different and polarizing, like polar opposite opinions. I hate using Twitter. It makes me so mad. I'm telling people, but they won't believe me. What are you telling people? I think TikTok is probably done in the US. Well, I mean, seems from the arguments that the ban will be upheld. See, this is the thing. It's like depending on who I watch, people have very different opinions. Like some lawyers are saying they think it's going to be upheld. Some people are saying that things are looking really good for TikTok based on the arguments and based on like the judges' reactions. I don't know. I mean, also like the Supreme Court is stacked with like Trump people, and it also looks like TikTok is not going to be selling, so it's not like some US billionaire can buy it, and the whole idea was not to ban it, it was to force sale. Also, like, I think they might, like, actually, postpone the ban while the whole, like, procedure is going. Um, yeah, it's weird. I don't know what to say about that. I really don't. Yeah, Grumpy, the billionaires want TikTok shut down, so what lawyers say doesn't matter, but those billionaires are Mark Zuckerberg and his lobbyism. But Trump is also a billionaire,